G'day there, Ray Corcoran here. In this week's video, we're going to be talking about 7 ways that you can get promoted faster and start earning more. As you may know on this channel, I do talk a lot about increasing your active income. You know, a lot of people online are obsessed with making passive income, but if you're someone like myself who wants to get rich a lot earlier in life, you really need to start making more in your active income. But this week's video is all about if you have a sort of a 9-to-5 job and you want to move up the ranks a little bit faster. I'm going to talk about a certain number of strategies that you can use to increase how fast that happens. I run a business now, I have a marketing agency, but prior to that, I was in corporate for a number of years. And my focus early on, because I didn't have any money, was to move up the ranks as fast as possible. And I did some things right and a lot of things wrong. So the first thing that we want to ask before we start working really, really hard is actually just double checking that, you don't want to work really hard and climb the wrong ladder. Some companies, no matter how good you are and how high a performer you are, you just won't make more money, or there's not much room to grow within that company. So some good questions to ask are, in your current job, does anyone make a lot of money within your company? Is there lots of people that make an average salary? Is there many people maybe in middle management that make good money? Is it a small company where it's like the directors and then there's everybody else? You really need to have a look at is there actually any room for you to make a lot of money within this company? Another thing you want to ask at this point as well is there a huge line of people waiting in line for a promotion before me? Because unfortunately, some companies, no matter how good you are, you just won't make a lot of money there. And this is a finance channel, so we're talking about making money. And obviously there's job satisfaction and all that sort of stuff. But in terms of purely money, some companies, there's just no room to grow. So tip number 2 is develop your leadership, technical, and interpersonal skills. So regardless of how much schmoozing you do and all that sort of stuff, if you're not good at what you do, it's going to be hard for you to get paid a lot of money in some of the higher level roles. The first one is leadership. So you want to make sure that you are considered a leader within the company. All the best paying roles in most companies, not always, but most of the time, involve some sort of leadership and management of other people. You need to start being seen within the organization as someone who is capable of leading projects, capable of leading people. And one of the best ways that you can start is by leading on small things. And this also comes down to, how you're dressing, how you're carrying yourself around the office. If you're someone that goofs off a lot, which was me pretty much when I was in corporate, I used to have a lot of fun. But that really hurt my career prospects because I was always having a laugh. I wasn't taking things seriously. While I ended up moving to a business, if I had my time again, I think I would have been a little bit more, intentional about how I carried myself and how I presented myself to other people in the business, because everybody notices whether they say it or not. The next one is technical skills. So this doesn't just apply to actual technical roles, but I mean being good at whatever the main part of your role is. If you're an accountant, be the top 5% within the business in that area. If you're in sales, be one of the top sales reps. Make sure you're one of the best at it. Number 3 is interpersonal skills. So this is a big one, and it's helped me get roles which I, to be honest, probably shouldn't have got because I could speak and converse with people relatively easily. And now I'm not a super social person necessarily, but it did make a big difference. And I've had people interviewing me that ended up hiring me that said that while I wasn't the most qualified or did maybe not have the best resume, they said that interpersonal skills and being able to work with other people was what they needed in that role, as well as the basics of the technical skill. So number 3 is building relationships with people, recruiters within your industry. So this is really, really important. And I first noticed this, a friend of mine, Alex, was, courting a whole bunch of recruiters. And I was like, what? Why are you doing this? What ended up happening is he had recruiters, looking round the clock for roles for him that were basically higher pay, because they get paid based on the, usually a percentage of what the salary is going to be or the contracted daily rate was going to be for his services, because they can help find you roles, and they can either A, move you to a higher paying role in another company, or B, they can let you know, you can get offers from other companies saying they'll pay you XYZ, and you can take that to your current boss and be like, look, there's multiple people that want to pay me more. And then you can have that conversation. You should genuinely be looking at other roles and just testing your market value at all times, but also be wary of don't waste their time as well going for interviews that you had zero intention of going for. Number 4 is make going above and beyond your default mode. I had previous jobs in the past where as soon as it hit, I would finish at 5:30. As soon as it hit 5:31 and I was still in the office, I was furious. I was just being lazy, just to be flat out. That has an effect on people and the people around you and the management and that sort of thing. And while I don't encourage just doing heaps of extra hours for free all the time, you do want to position yourself as someone that is willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done within your role. One more comment on this. Don't compare yourself to other people within the office. There are some people in the office that want to clock off at, exactly on time, or they don't want to try that hard when they're at work during the day. That's fine, and that's their choice. They may have a different situation to you, but you really need to start acting based on your best interests and trying to craft your own career. Number 5 is take every chance to increase your visibility within the company. So if there's ever an opportunity to put your hand up or speak in front of a group within the company or whatever it is, or be prominent, take it. Because unfortunately, the way the world works is whoever's the most prominent usually gets the most opportunities, whether they're the best or not. And if you can be the best and be prominent, you're just going to dramatically increase your chances of being promoted within the company. And while that may feel annoying for some people, and some people don't want to be the center of attention, and you may even know people that you work with or have worked with that you want to punch them in the face because they're so annoyingly always trying to put their hand up for stuff. You need to understand that that's the game that's being played. And I ignored that for a long time and probably paid the price for that. But you need to be prominent and you need to put yourself out there. Otherwise, people that are inferior in skill and talent are going to beat you for certain roles because they've made the effort to be prominent. They've made the effort to be visible. Number 6 is polishing up your LinkedIn profile and putting your best foot forward. There are a lot of people that offline, they have this reputation and they look really, really good. And then online, it doesn't really match up. They don't really look as much of a gun as they actually are. And what we want to make sure is that your actual real brand in the real world matches your online brand. So some of the basics include, high res, professional photo, or at least a nice looking photo, headshot, headline incorporating keywords related to your industry and role, filling out all the fields. So if there's any fields to fill out, also get recommendations from other people. And this also makes you more appealing to recruiters who will probably be searching for you on LinkedIn anyway, but also for people that do background checks. So if a recruiter puts you forward for a role, they're probably the company is probably going to Google you, maybe look at your social profiles, look at your LinkedIn, and suss you out a little bit. So you want that whole picture to look as good as possible and to not give them any reason to have doubt that you're an excellent candidate. And number 7 is a big one. It's all about backing yourself. There are so many people that basically talk themselves out of bigger roles at other companies or higher up roles in the same company, and they're constantly finding reasons. It's like backwards. They're finding so many reasons why they don't deserve a role, or why it's going to be hard, or why someone else deserves it more. You need to be kind of selfish when it comes to your career, because nobody's going to build your career for you. It's going to be you building your career. And you need to have what I would call unreasonable confidence that you may not have all the pieces you need to get the role. That does not mean that you don't get the role or you can't get the role. You can have not everything you need to succeed, but if you can build relationships with key people that can get you promoted, you've been working on most of your skills, maybe you've got skills that other applicants didn't really have that is really important in that company at the moment. Maybe their last hire didn't have that, so they really prioritize, say, interpersonal skills for this particular role. And while I wouldn't go as far as say, fake it till you make it, you do need to be willing to sort of take that leap. One of the catches is if you do get that role, you get some rare experience and you might shave off 2, 3, 4 years of your career. In terms of how soon you can get to a really high salary. So I hope you found that useful. Super important. I think it's important to be in the driver's seat of your own career and keep pushing upwards, even if it's not about money, just about personal satisfaction and fulfillment and all that sort of stuff. So hope you found that useful. If you have any other tips or thoughts below, let me know. And I'll see you in the next video.